Good morning, good day to you. As usual, wherever and whenever you listen to this series of knowledge seekers from Keshe Foundation Space Institute. Today's knowledge sharing is very interesting because, as usual, coincidentally, totally by coincidence, Rick chose an intro which I was going to bring something for your attention that you don't need intermediaries, that it can be connected to the knowledge and the light of the knowledge, or what they call enlightenment, and how you, through the connection, get touched with. You change people, you bring things in. I received a very interesting request, very unusual, uh, from one of the knowledge seekers, which was interesting for me when I received it, and was more interesting when I researched it to look into the data which was asked, or a very simple question came from a knowledge seeker.
Recording in progress.
Which it was very simple, but very profound. And in a way, was very interesting for me to understand in a deeper way our connection. I've deleted the parts, but you can read it. It says, "Hello, Mr. Keshe. I hope you are very well. I was curious to know what change happened in the graph when I talked. God bless you." She came in one of the teachings, asked a question, and curiosity, as we all are, brought the question, what happened? Within minutes, I went back on the data because everything is recorded. Most of the things are recorded. And look how precise we are, and how the technology advanced, and how you don't need intermediaries in a way, but you understand at the end of it what will come. The lady came in with a question. This is the lady. This is the graph which all you see, because there's no connection when you have individual participants. This is a usual graph all of you are familiar with, and she is just data physicality below the line, and you can see. Interesting. We don't see the rest of the rigmas we usually see on the top, on the bottom, and everywhere else. This is when I get involved in listening to her. The what one is still her. The second one is when I engage. It's a dimension of, it's like your physicality and the soul of physicality, to understand what the question is, what is the answer. And if you go back, because we have the time, the minutes which this happened, so you have a soul, in the dimension of physicality, a voice, listen to. An interesting part is this: when the answers start coming, you see the dimension of the soul suddenly comes in. There are hundreds of you listening, because this is between 1 to 1 in the dimension of interaction of the soul. This is nobody else, directly from the physicality to the soul. And the soul answers. You see the dots, you see the connections. The answer is the soul. If you remember what we came last time, we explained, it comes directly above nothing, it comes from the source. But interesting part is, when the answer is given and all of you are listening, and it's the cycle of the time of answering the question, now you see what happens. Your souls, the knowledge, the enlightenment comes into operation. Now you see lines on the horizon where there was nothing. This is the soul, and this is the, in a way, the physicality. Now that the soul of physicality, which is a connection of the combination of the information, enlightenment, the body has received, the individual has received. And the funny thing is, when you analyze this picture, then you see totally different thing, which is, if you look, I'll put it marked in 1 and 2. This is, as you see here, the soul of the person, enlightenment. And then you see the soul of the creator, the knowledge, the enlightenment. So in this process, we see how a number of things in different directions, how the technology is developed, how precise our system can become, that we can even track you to the person, to the interaction, to connection with the soul of the creator to get the knowledge, and in a way enlighten the others, because once that shared in the dimension of soul of physicality, as you see here, it becomes a common knowledge. And you see it very clearly how the process works. To you, this is pictures, individual pictures. Start with a dot, question asked, question listened to, where the soul interacts to understand, to give answer from the, what we call, from the source, from the creator, from dimension of the creation. And then you see the engagement, how the soul of the creator comes in, and then how the soul of the person lights up, enlightens. And when that enlightenment comes, you all get enlightened, because now it's at the level of the humanity that it can be shared by and through what we call the human race. To use dots and buts. But now have a look at something else. Rick, you received the video. Could you play that video for us, please? What you see in this video is from more or less immediately after the first question asked and enlightenment comes in. Just watch how the response comes of the dimension of creation and how enlightenment takes place. This is a live video of that part that you see. Just watch. This is about a minute. And you see how it takes shape. Information from the soul, because it's a pure question asked. You see the interaction. And then just watch how it connects to the soul of the creation, which means downloading information, receiving information for what is asked, and just watch how it happens. This is a live session taken thousands of kilometers apart. One in France, one in a part of the world, system in another part of the world. Let's see how it comes daylight. Just watch. Now you see the soul of the person getting enlightened. See how it takes shape. And that goes back and enlightens the soul of physicality of the totality, because all of you are in it. Now the knowledge is. This is how the teaching of the universe is done. This is how the dimension of creation brings a new way of teaching. And now you've seen it. This is a system which operates, and now you see how it's made. More or less these kind of images, if you remember, is something common you always see when we share with you. Now we see in real time the question, in being sincere, in sharing, and then receiving the knowledge from above. from dimension of universal knowledge. This is why I always tell you, when humanity matures, you can tap into the knowledge of the creation and the creator. And you see it physically done. This was not intentional. We have a lot of recordings like this. Even the sessions we spend on Fridays once a month, we collect some of these. And this is exactly what happened during a question answer. Everything else, when the question was asked, was deleted from the system because attention is to one. And if you play it once more, Rick, you can see every time you ask a question how the knowledge is received and how the knowledge is shared. Just watch. This is recorded to the second. And knowledge understood, enlightened, and now links up to about to universal knowledge, to the soul of the Creator. And then you see how knowledge comes and enlightens the soul of the person. Now it's not anymore in the dimension of physicality, but in the dimension of energy, what we call the soul of creation. And then once the soul is enlightened, you see it shares with the soul of physicality in the totality of the dimension, which means every one of you, through the dimension of your soul, have been enlightened by the knowledge. Because the dimension of soul of physicality belongs to the man. This is when you share knowledge in the dimension of emotion. And now you see how clearly the lines are created. This brings us back again to the essence of time. And how long does it take for us? What time do we need to connect with our Creator? Is there a need for prophets? Is there a need for those in the name of prophet abuse for their own physical profit? Where, in a way, as teachers, we are there to guide, but we know the path to the Creator, to tap into universal knowledge, to tap in to understand what is to share. This is literally what we call a teacher teaching. But knowing, instead of going to the library of man, goes to the library of the universe, the Creator, and the dimension of creation. And all those little whites you see in the dimension of the soul, it's very simple. These are different dimensions of enlightenment which come in. You see it. Because questions are understood, translated from the knowledge of the creation to the voice of the man, and then you see the enlightenment of the soul. Same position. This is how a universal teacher teaches. We are not prophets, but we know which books is hidden, what knowledge is hidden in which part of the universe to tap on instantaneously, faster than the computers of today. What is interesting is if you listen to the duration of this question and the answers, you'll be amazed what the question was and what the answer was and how the knowledge was shared. But it's the time. The time is taken to start one dot, to connect to the creators and knowledge of the universe and share amongst them. Do we need prophets? When one man can access, so the others. This is from the teachings of last week. And this is how it sits. Then the question comes back again. What is time? If a teacher can connect to the universal knowledge in such a short time, instantaneously, why mankind needs so much time to make so much mistakes and so much pain and suffering, where it can reach that point by itself. But very interesting thing is, if you look at this picture, you should come home something very, very interesting. And that is, if you look, I made man in the image of myself. So, in essence, we are connected. We are a reflection of the energy dimension of the knowledge and the love of the Creator. It's not mean non-religion, and does not mean nothing. It's understanding the process of the creation. Doesn't need time. Or man has taken too much time, thousands of years, to come to the point of understanding the process of the creation. When you look at these graphs, which we continue to get, even today, there are a bunch of graphs generated from in how you as knowledge seekers are interacting with us, with the knowledge you gain, and then move forward to the next step. Our team in the background continuously monitors how you, individuals or groups or people who are here, receiving the information, digesting the information, interacting with the information get by enlightenment of the light. This is very clear when we say, I'm enlightened. In a way, enlightened, you can see it. It's a real light. For the first time, man can see his connection, personal, in gaining knowledge with his Creator. We are just the tools. We know where the thing is for you to connect with the dimension of the knowledge of the universe. And this needs to be taught. This needs for man to be taught step by step. And we see this kind of changes in most of the systems which is getting developed, and it'll be part of the structure. As I said to a knowledge seeker, there is some 14,000 satellites today rotating around this planet. Military, information, and every other type. And they all have to be fired up to connect somewhere on the top. Man never looked within to understand. And for the first time, when you knowledge seekers receive these units, we work within. We don't need to look above, because through these systems, which is getting, many of you are buying it to be spread around this planet, once the numbers are reached and connections are made, then we connect the soul of the man to the soul of the planet, which then, as you've seen on this picture, connects to the soul of the Creator. In a way, we bring the satellite, bring the soul of the man to be connected by every dimension of it. Because these units, which then, when you receive it, they'll come in two packages. Once you receive the unit, you plug it on, you connect it. Then you receive another piece, which you just attach it to. This part, the first part, which you receive connected to electricity, connects to the dimension of physicality. The antenna you receive in connection with the other antennas collectively creates a ground level satellite, which every man is at that level and can reach, get, receive, enlighten. You don't need to be, in a way, send message down. The message comes from within up. It's a new time and it's a new change. And this process will bring very much, instead of us having one unit in one place and you seeing these images, the knowledge will be spread across humanity instantaneously. Any of you reach a knowledge, it will be shared amongst all of you instantaneously, because now we are all connected to this mesh. This is the purpose of putting these units and creating this dimension. One is the level of you can handle your knowledge, information, teachings, and on the other hand, connecting to the soul of the creation. There will be no difference in understanding this. And in a way, the way we made it, it's all connected to each other. Nobody can break in, nobody can copy, because it's very easy. It doesn't come from us, connected to our system that everybody else is connected to it. Out of the 10,000 units, you buy it as another computer on the table. With that, we're just bringing in this system, this technology in, we bring a new dimension of time. We can feed you directly. Let's say there is a crisis with what we had real this time with viruses. Through our central system, through our connection, we can create a condition of the field, the strength of the virus, that nobody gets infected. This is not dreams anymore. You're buying the units, and with it will come the technology, which over time, as it gets more perfected, will deliver this. There's a drought in the part of the planet which there is a hunger. Through the same system, because you're all connected, we feed. You're on planet Mars or on planet Zeus, and you have a connection with the system. You're fed, you're looked after, you're part of the system, even does not matter where you take it. Now you understand the purpose and the way we create a new time, new lifeline, new dimension in the process of understanding the totality. We use man-made advantages in technology to bring forward the knowledge and the process of the creation of the Creator. This is going to be a wonderful time. In the next few months and years, we were excited with computers, we were excited with AI. Now we'll be interested and excited with the knowledge of the creation, where we tap into. There is no need for, and then there is no need for patent, because the minute we are enlightened, as you've seen in these pictures, we share amongst the humanity and the rest of the universe. What this planet was short to change the man in magnetic field, in a plasmatic field, to stop the man killing, with this technology, with this system as spread across this planet, we add to, we change. We bring man to become a peaceful man, because the systems, as you see, touches you in the soul. Then you understand the time for change has come. And you lot have no time to waste. It's a time to enjoy. It's time to bring the change. And the faster we can spread this across, the faster we can bring an end, because now we take steps to do it. We don't look at how, we look at in a way planet hasn't provided it, there is a shortage, we change the behavior. Then with this, with the addition what we put in, like the test we do with you, like tomorrow, as the participants in the what we call the monthly sessions, we change you in energy. We change you in the dimension of understanding and enlightenment. And what will be interesting for us to see is that how you people, even in the session of today, change. What have you received? What is the process and how much we're going to see changes? And to what level we as knowledge seekers are there to bring the change, to enlighten the soul of physicality of the man that allows man to become another person, another creation, another understanding, where the balance sits within the spirit of the man, interaction of the fields of the body of the man and the soul of the man, where physicality is irrelevant and we become immortal. In a way, we look for the fountain of youth, where through this we only work through the soul of the man. Many of you will come to understand during the teaching how even your souls in many dimensions in certain points changes, detached, because you understand the dimension of what you call a spirituality, where name comes from, spiritual with a spirit. And then you see yourself in one way or another, mankind will be changed. And then we'll see how the changes will bring for us to understand more and more of ourselves, more about what we want, what we have, what we can put in. What will be interesting for you? Have a look. This is the state of you as people in this session, in how you are, in a way, interacting with the teachings, learning to the dimension of the soul of physicality, learning to the dimension of the interaction with the fields, then learning knowledge through what we call physicality, the brain of the man. It is interesting and how these images are created that it gives us the opportunity to, in a way, teach you about yourself, teach you about how you react. In a way, I want to show you something that you all understand. When we tell you you are involved at the level of what I call the spirituality, in the spirit, in the way you're learning the knowledge at this moment, all of you, through the dimension of the soul, of the physicality, and not in any dimension, but through the soul of what you have, what you share. Look at this. The green is the soul, as all of you will know by now. Totally detached above the physicality, above the soul of physicality, which means the soul feeds. It has risen the spirit of the man, the knowledge of creation, and you see it here. No connection, but see how solid we become. Which means if you look, if you understand the system, which I hope you do, you're all learning through energy fields. There's no physicality, but you're tapped into the knowledge of the creation. You're all lightened up. This line is you collectively in receiving the knowledge. Look at it. No deviation. you become perfect. You're learning how to become one. Connection to the what we call fields of energy, the soul of physicality, which what we call the spirit, in absorbing the information, gaining knowledge, detaching from physicality. And how would you be enlightened? How would this change for you in the future? And then you say something was changing in me because you received that. When you need it, is for you to change, to bring that change, to be enlightened with the totality of the system. That system is your physical dimension of energy, of the physical structure, and the dimension of the energy connected to the soul of the universe, to the knowledge, the enlightenment. So next time when you are with us, remember we are monitoring, we are looking what changes has come, what changes is brought to you in the dimension of totality, and how you receive the knowledge. And in a way, when you look at these, it goes back to what I always said. When we teach, we don't teach for one man. We teach that the knowledge is shared by the whole universe, because there's a dimension of the energy, dimension of field of the soul of the creation. Man uses the internet like this to physically, publicly teach thousands of you on the line. And the man who understands teaches the same knowledge through the soul of the creator, sharing with all created things through the universal network with all the soul existing. And now you understand how we share, how we bring the change. Enlightenment of the soul, enlightenment of the physicality, knowledge to understand is a cornerstone of man to become a man of universal community, where universe will learn from mankind. Then up to now, mankind always looks in the skies, looking at the UFOs and the others, where they bring us the knowledge. Man will take the knowledge of creation to the universe as you become those teachers. But tell your soul, do not make the mistake of the souls who became the soul of the prophets on this planet, to abuse it for their own advantage. Today's teaching is amazing, and it is fundamental for you for the first time to see. It's you. It's you who asked the question. And in how you're asking the question, the rest, the soul of physicality, the soul of the man, confirming with the others, have been shared the knowledge. Then you understand there's no need for pattern, because the minute I know how it works, the rest are enlightened too. It's just that they need to understand how that makes it. We go for a break and we come back. And hopefully we share with you some more knowledge than all of the creation.